Great. And now our meeting is being recorded. So let's welcome the hosts of today's meeting, Studying Language School and Publishing Center.
Okay.
I'd like to introduce Gulnar Gnetovna to you, our academic director. She will introduce the company first.
Morning, everybody. Uh, very, it's very pleasant to see you all today, Saturday morning, end of the academic year, and participating in the conference. So I guess most of you do know about our company. Study In is an educational holding, and our main activity is just now is teacher training, as well as we had a publishing house. And also, I'm sure that most of you use our textbooks at schools, textbooks which are published by Cambridge University Press, which are in the ministry list for those who are working at the state schools, at government school, Eyes Open, Think, and so on. And we're very glad to see all of you. This year we start this program with seminars, free seminars. We call it Saturday seminars, and we conduct them online and offline for those who are in Almaty. And in our seminars, we cover the most interesting topics for the teachers. And today, I'm also very glad to introduce our speaker today, Anna, who is now who's joining our company as our regular trainer, and hope we will have a lot of seminars with her next year. Starting from the new academic year, we're going to introduce a special programs for teachers in Kazakhstan and abroad for teacher development. With the international certification, without international certification, all types of these programs. And as for today's seminar, we know that during the last 3 years, we were faced with, actually we faced very unusual, I can't say that difficult, but at the beginning it was difficult, but then it becomes unusual for us to teach from screen. And today's seminar will just maybe give you some new ideas, some new tips, how to make your teaching from screen more effective, more interesting, more efficient. And Anna, she's an expert in this topic. And so enjoy your seminar.
Thank you very much for such kind words. Yes, and really quickly, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Anna, and I don't know how much of an expert I am in online teaching, but I can definitely say that I'm experienced enough. For many of us, teaching online has been a necessity only since the pandemic started. Whereas I've been teaching online for more than 8 years. So when the pandemic hit, for me and the team of my teachers, this wasn't a shock. It was just an opportunity. And today I'd like to share some tips with you and some very simple activities which do not require any sort of extra technological advancement or investment on your part. Are you ready? Let me know. We have a chat. Please indicate whether you're ready or not. Right, so I'm going to skip this slide because I've already been introduced. Thank you, Gulnar Gnetovna. And I'll just announce our aims for today's session. We have 3 main aims to pursue. We're here to equip you with some online low prep activities, which do not require any investment or any long hour planning, which is quite often is not paid, and and robs off your family time. So we're not going to do that. It's also the aim today is also to encourage you to take advantage of the technology which you already have available, which you have at your fingertips, rather than learning extra skills and trying to understand extra platforms. There is abundance of them on educational market today, and but each of them requires a new set of skills, which very often we don't have time to implement. So we'll try to work with something that we have only at our fingertips, working with a very simple tool of Zoom, which we're using today. And we'd also like to encourage you and enhance some of your teaching skills, and let you know how you could enhance your qualifications, your teaching qualifications in the future. All right. In a few seconds, I'll start demonstrating activities, and it would be very nice if we could first establish whether or not you have the cameras available. So I'm going to ask a few simple questions, and if your answer is yes, please turn on your camera. If your answer is no, turn off your camera. Right? So, do you like teaching online? On if you like, off if you don't. Beautiful. Natalia, Raihan, Yelena likes teaching. Hi, Yelena. Nice seeing you here. Aigul, Laura. You don't have to show your face. You could just show your knee or your cat or your, I don't know, background. Doesn't matter. Not so many, but about 10% of today's. Okay, and Anastasia is showing us her classmates, I guess. Okay, good. Awesome. Right, turn off your camera. Turn off, just like I did. Now, do you have to teach online whether you like it or not? Okay, now we don't care whether you like it. Do you sometimes have to do it? Turn on your camera if you have to, turn off if it's not a necessity. There you go. We have few new additions. Several people turned on their cameras because they have to. Maybe their bosses make them, maybe the pandemic resulted in the fact that they had to do this. All right, so whether you like it or dislike it, we live in the 21st century, and it indicates that at some point, every educator might find herself or himself in a situation where we have to take advantage of the situation and teach using available technology. And over the past 2 years, the vast majority of teachers in Kazakhstan have been using Zoom or Google platforms, free platforms, to teach their online classes. And what I've learned is that very often the teachers had to teach online every day, however, used only their set of regular classroom skills to teach online. And as a result, they had very low rate of participation in the classroom. Zoom has several very low-tech techniques that can help you see whether your students are engaged, whether they are listening, or they're not with you and they just connected and went to gym, for instance. One very simple way to check whether or not your students are engaged is to use the reactions button. Reactions. This reactions button is just at your lower bar menu, and if you click it, you will get several available emoticons. Please go to your reactions bar and give me any reaction. whatever reaction is available. It could be clapping hands. These reactions are absolutely free and available. You could find them in the lower bar next to participants, chat, share screen, reactions. Everybody has this. Please take a look. Can you share your reaction? Give a heart. Yes, Midet has chosen to choose a reaction and send it to the chat. However, chat is not the only way to communicate with the speaker. A much faster way to communicate with me as your speaker right now is to choose the reaction to what I'm saying. For example, if it's something surprising, you could use this smile. And if it's something that makes you laugh, you could use this one. Let us see. The thing is, yeah, several people gave me laughing reactions and I got one heart. Thank you. Thank you very much. You could take these reactions to and turn this into a real activity in the classroom. For example, you could ask them, students, how are you today? Use the reactions button and you will get reactions like, yeah, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Students, how are you? And you might get reactions saying that, nah, not super happy, sleepy. You can ask them more complicated questions, like choose a reaction which is an animal you associate yourself with. And what animal is your favorite? Here students go crazy. They choose all kinds of reactions. And instead of boring black squares, you get frogs and dogs and animals. You could ask them, what's your hobby? Do you have a hobby? Very often students can't talk to you, can't talk back to you because the microphone doesn't work or their little sister is jumping on the background, but they want to participate, and with emojis and quick reactions they can participate immediately and silently, but at the same time demonstrating to you that they're listening to what's happening. So let me try it one more time. What's your hobby? And now me asking, what's my hobby? Please write in the chat, what's my hobby? I'm gonna show it one more time. What's Anna's hobby? Write in the chat. And if you're like me, experience difficulties getting an answer from students, I can always use a whiteboard to model the activity. My question was, I apologize. What's your hobby? Here's my reaction. Can everybody see what my hobby is? Wonderful. And now please complete the gap. Anna's hobby is Anna enjoys in her free time. Just a simple smile can produce a lot of reactions. And there you go. I'm opening the chat and I can see people's reactions. I can see Diana's hobby and Yelena's hobby, and Natalie is giving me a full answer. Somebody even replied with another emoji. So this could provoke students to demonstrate their quick writing skills. And then you can again build off this activity. We have absolutely different teachers today. Look at the chat. These teachers, Diana, Yelena, Anastasia, are sharing, and Natalia Romanenko sharing what their hobbies are. Valery is sharing. So I'd like to make a list. Say Valery likes, is it running? Running, jogging. Looks like it. And then Anastasia goes to gym in her free time. That's how I interpret it. Beautiful. So look at the chat and you will be surprised at what you see. So maybe a little bit slowly, but students will get involved because they are digital natives and they love using emojis to communicate their thoughts. Today's teenagers are not super talkative, but they can be very expressive if you speak their language. In today's world, this is their language, the language of emojis. So you can turn their language into a classroom activity. Look, what I just did is I took a screenshot of what's happening on the screen right now in real life time. That's my minimal technical skills. Screen capture button on my keyboard. And it allows me to see the answers of Videt, Valery, Ayjan, whoever got in the chat. So my next step could be, okay, look at Ayjan Midet's answers and in the chat state what's Ayjan's hobby and Midet's. Now I can just use the students' answers to turn this into activity. Of course, this is a basic language activity with more adult students or with more advanced students. My question can be more advanced. Compare the answers. Compare the answers in the chat. Whose hobby is the most exciting? Why? If the group is more advanced, I would like to ask them this question and provoke them to give me written answers in the chat. Then you can just go as creative as you want. It doesn't have to be a question about a hobby. It could be a question about emotions or anything like this. You could ask students, okay, use a reaction, use the reactions bar, use the emojis to tell us who you are and what you do. Or use this emojis bar to describe your professional qualifications. Something like that. Ta-da! I think that my professional qualifications are high, so I use an emoji with a halo. Or you could ask students, all right, so we have an option. We're gonna do this task today in class, or we'll do it at home. So how do you feel about doing it now in class and having no homework? The usual reaction I get from my students, they're like, yeah, I'd rather do it now, and so on. So with this activity, what I wanted to demonstrate to you is that please do not underestimate the reactions tool, which is easily available for you. And once you introduce the tool to your students, once you make them comfortable in using this tool, you can take it to the next level and combine it with taking a screen capture. For example, this was an activity with the teachers, the one that you can see on the screen right now. The question was, how do you like the session today? And they gave me reactions. The next task was to interpret the reactions with the full sentences. And students wrote on top quite different answers. They said, Anna loves her students. Gulnar likes this class. Laura enjoys being in class. So this is the same activity with just a bit of a twist. All right. So how do you feel about this activity? Easy peasy, can be done. Doesn't require much tech skills, yeah? And it's free. It's free, it's available at your fingertips in the program available. Anastasia, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question? No. So she doesn't have a question, she lowered her hand. All right, that's another way to train your students to communicate. I often get comments from my colleagues, they say, my online students are not participating. But maybe they don't know how. Have you spent some time training your students to participate? Because we train them to participate in a physical classroom. We train them to raise their hand. We train them to stand up or to sit down when, I don't know, somebody comes in. But when it comes to online teaching, very often teachers do not train them into using the chat, into sending the messages and doing other things. So a tip here is it's not enough for a teacher to know about these simple tools, but it's also a responsibility of a teacher to demonstrate these tools to her students later. All right, let's move on to the next activity because I can see no questions. And my next activity is connected to virtual backgrounds. What you can see on the screen now is again me delivering some sessions online, but what you can see behind me is very different. And to do that, again, I did not really painted this poster, and I did not really go to Almaty Mountains to look so nice on the screen. What I did was very simple. Look at your camera button. Everybody has the camera button. Next to the camera button, you have this tiny little arrow. Can you see it? Right, this one. Tiny little arrow, this one. It's pointed up. If you click this arrow, you will get to this menu. The menu says virtual backgrounds. Here. There you go. See, it says virtual backgrounds. And it gives you a selection of virtual backgrounds. That's why very often when you teach, you can see students sitting in San Francisco and so on. But you can regulate this and add whatever background you wish by just clicking this tiny little plus button. If you try this now, you will have an opportunity to change your background to whatever you want. For example, when I represent my country and teach some international classes, very often I choose this background, which I just downloaded from official Ministry of Kazakhstan website. And when international students get to meet me, I very often say, hi, I'm Anna, I'm from this country. Guess where I'm from? And this is intriguing. They start writing in the chat or asking, is it California? Is it Mongolia? Is it something else? And very often, very quickly, they arrive to the name of Kazakhstan. Pretty cool, right? And I also only do it at the top, at the click of a button. Last year, I had my office renovated, and I didn't have a place to teach. Behind me was a construction site. So I couldn't just allow students to see this mess, and I spent the whole semester teaching like this. I teach first year students at Kazgyu University, and this is just a picture of one of the university backgrounds. I've had a very funny situation last year. One of the students came late to class, and he went to this room at Kazgyu University to find me and to apologize. And he couldn't find me because I wasn't there. I was in the comfort of my own home in Pavlodar. So he started texting me and asking, Anna, I'm in this room, but I cannot see you. What happened? So sometimes students don't even realize that it's a virtual background. I like using the virtual background to turn this into different activities. It could be a lead-in, like a way to start a class. Your students are used to seeing you at your regular background, but tomorrow they come to class and instead of a regular background, bam, you are here. And I ask my students, okay, hi guys, how are you today? Today we're gonna talk about this. What is this? Tell me, what are your ideas? What is this? What's the topic of our class? Use the chat or use your microphone? What's the topic today? Microphone is okay. Chat is also fine. Look at this. Who is this? Are we going to talk about ecology? Are we going to talk about personal lives? Absolutely not. Yes, we'll talk about superheroes and comic books. Look at my background. Are you a Marvel or DC fan? Let's start a battle. Marvel or DC, who are you? There you go. We see some people reacting in the chat saying that they prefer Marvel characters. Pretty cool. Okay, look at the background and find the superheroes you know. Who can you find? Can you find Captain America? He's right here at my right shoulder. Right, left? Okay, I don't know which part you see. Is it right or left? It's right on my side. Can you see Captain America? What other superheroes can you recognize? Please write in the chat. Who can you recognize? Somebody can see Hulk. And I can go like this so that it's a bigger. Who can you see? Come on. Who can you see? Somebody can see Thor. All right. Look, I have such a great company today. And the Flash and the Cap. Who else? Who else? Who's behind me? And look, in a young learners class, I can turn it into a prepositions activity. Who is on the right from Anna? Who is here? Who is on the right? Who is on the left? Who is above me? Who is behind me? And so on. And you could just turn this into activity and tell students, write 3 sentences with prepositions of place and somebody. We can use colors to revise for young learner classes, or for older students. This could be turned into discussion. Marvel versus DC. Who is better? Who is cooler? Who is more awesome? And so on. Easily done. So pretty cool, right? How you can make the chat more active by just changing one quick setting on your computer. So just as I said, this could be used as a lead-in activity. Here are a few ideas you can see on my screen. It could be a lead-in activity to start a class. It could be something that you use as a clue for your students, maybe a clue to an answer, a clue to a listening exercise, a clue to a reading exercise, some sort of visualization. Or one of my favorite, I really like to play the find I spy game. I spy something. For example, this activity. The task is find two anchors. Can you find two anchors? Can you? Please find them. And once you find them, give me any reaction. For example, I found them, so that's my reaction. Did you find them? What's your reaction? Thank you. I have some reactions in the chat. Beautiful. There you go. Kuralai found the two anchors. And Rosa found. And somebody else. Yeah. Aijan also found the anchors. These activities, they are they do not require any extra materials design, because all you need to do is just you go online, you're already at your computer. I mean, just take one more step, and in any what you call it, just a second, in any search button, you just type find activity or I spy activity. And once you introduce the virtual backgrounds to your classroom, you could actually play with real backgrounds to motivate learners to use their cameras. So in a classroom where students don't usually use the camera, after the introduction of virtual backgrounds, students very often become more open to using the camera, because you tell them, that's okay. You don't have to show me your room. You could just show me any picture you like. Also, if you don't look very nice this morning, if you don't have your makeup on, I don't care. You can use a filter on your face. It's just close to virtual backgrounds. So feel free. I mean, sometimes I teach a class, all class dressed up like this, or like this, or like this. And if I model to my learners that it's okay to look a little silly, it's okay not to have makeup, because I teach first year linguists, students, most of them are young women. And when I ask them to turn on the camera, they tell me, Anna, I'm so sorry. I have no hair. I have no makeup. I just woke up. After several demonstrations, I very often have students wearing virtual glasses because they cover the face and I don't have to show what I really look like. Sometimes they use decorations to demonstrate whether they're happy with what's happening in class. And this is really nice, because I increase the number of students in my class who start using the camera. This is very important. I know how difficult it is for you guys, for me to teach a class where everyone is with their cameras off. It's quite challenging. It's not super easy. Yeah, thank you, Kuralai. Okay, pretty cool. Any questions at this point? No? Okay, cool. Then let's move on to our third activity. The next activity I'd like to demonstrate to you is a whiteboard activity. Just a whiteboard. Whiteboard is really an invaluable tool for the classroom. It's just amazing. I mean, any classroom, a real classroom, has a whiteboard or a blackboard. It's not a class if there is no board available. And let's say Zoom or Google, Google Chat, or any provider of conference meetings, they all have whiteboard built in. And quite often we could take advantage of this and use a whiteboard as a way to communicate with our students. To introduce your students to the whiteboard, you need to first share the board. Then you go to Настройки просмотра or viewing settings and you click comment. If you don't do that, your students won't be able to write on your board. Let me show you. What you can see on the screen right now is just screenshots from my classroom. The activity where students had to name the objects. It was a spelling dictation. The activity above, it's like a hangman, option to hangman. Instead of a man being hanged, which is very inhumane, and which could be a real thing and very traumatic experience. In Kazakhstan, an option could be play the game where somebody gets eaten by an alligator. I mean, what are the chances of being eaten by an alligator in Kazakhstan? Almost none. But what are the chances of the fact that your students know somebody who hanged themselves or heard about someone? The chances are higher, way higher. So it's just a more humane option, and using the board could be very, very fun. For example, you could play a Pictionary dictation. Give students a task to draw somebody. For instance, that is a picture from my class. What do you think the word was? What do you think the task was? What was the task? Probably the task was to draw a teacher or a woman. So let me show you. So I'm sharing my board with you right now. And then I'm also giving you a chance to write on my board. Just give me a second, I'm changing. It's like allow others to annotate. Try to draw on my board. Try to draw. Try to move your cursor. Try to write something like this. Try to write your name like this. Does it work? Can you write on my board? Try it. Some people already started. Write your name on the board. Ayjan drew a heart. Okay. I can see Anastasia is writing on the board. So I gave you the right to use my board, and now you can participate more fully in the classroom, making notes. Somebody's writing their names, notes, and now it's going crazy. Now it's going crazy, and it's fun because I can see that you're not just silently listening to me, but you're actually learning something and participating. Wonderful. I can also take a picture of this. I saved the file, and sometimes in the future I will use this file to demonstrate that this can be done. Okay, now it looks like a mess, but now that we've checked that you can really draw on the board, we can play a Pictionary game. All right. Okay, thank you, Yana. Yana, you're the last person to type, so I'm gonna ask you something. Yana, do you want to play with me? Yes or no? I'm gonna write Yana a message and ask her to draw something. Yana, can you please draw this thing on the board? Everybody else, could you please guess the word Yana is drawing? What is this secret word? Let me ask somebody else to help us. All right. Kuralai is guessing love. Kuralai, how about I ask you to draw this thing? Okay, look at the picture of Kuralai. Look at the red picture. What is it? Lily is playing with arrows. What is it? Look at the red picture.
And this is tree.
Thank you. Kuralai, is this the secret word I gave you? And she's also using colors. Look at this. This is amazing. So yeah, you could use it just as a dictation for your students. It's really fun. Say the homework was to learn, I don't know, 10 words. Or think about an object. It's just like Pictionary in class. For example, I guess the secret word of Layla was flower. And so on. So very undervalued activity. Okay, now to avoid anybody distracting me, I can just click the option disable annotation. Try now. Can you draw on my board? No, you can't. See? Nothing is happening because as a host of today's meeting, I limited the activity that you can perform. And I could use my board, for example, to tell you a story or to, I don't know, draw something on the board or whatever, or tell you a picture story and so on. The thing is that the reality is you have as much control of the whiteboard as you do in the classroom. In the classroom, you are usually the master of the board, but when you would like to invite students to the board for an activity, you invite them, you give them the markers. If you don't want them to mess on your board, you take the markers away from them. Same thing is possible with a Zoom board. All you need to do is just learn this option. So one more time, I'm going to show it to you. You share the screen, and then in the view options, you click annotate, комментировать, annotate. Если вы поставили галочку annotate или комментировать, студенты, вы дали им маркер, они будут рисовать. Если вы галочку убрали, that's it. The board is all yours. Nobody is gonna distract you from teaching class. So yeah. At this point, any questions? Same thing here. I can, again, use a picture from the internet and just as a warm-up and just to see how many students are participating in my class, I give them this challenge. I give you this challenge. I say, okay, guys, I need you to find a hidden object. I need you to find a hidden object. Feel free to hide and circle it. Hide and circle. Hide and circle. I gave you the right. You can now circle the object when you find it. I need you to find 10 bones. I need you to find this packet of milk. Can you find it? Go, circle. I see that Camila found something. Good. Oh, that was a tough one, Camila. Well done. Kuralai found bones. Natalia is looking for bones. And bam, I have my students participating. Yes, they're not talking back to me, but I can see that you guys are working. So very simple activity to change the dynamic of your classroom and to introduce your students to participate in your class a little bit more. Again, if I want my students to not comment anything, I just disable this, and now you cannot comment or do anything to my board. There is no way you can distract me. All right. So these are the few activities I wanted to share with you. Let me just restart. There you go. Okay. So the message of today's meeting is that there are a lot more you can do from the comfort of your own couch, from the comfort of your home, and just using your screen. By just learning about few simple options and adding a little bit of creativity, you can ensure that your students are really participating in your classes, even though they're silent. Moreover, to ensure that your students value you as a teacher, you could also engage in some CPD, continuous professional development opportunities, from the comfort of your couch. I'm sure that today, on Sunday morning, the vast majority of you are not in the office. You're probably at home, maybe in your bed with no makeup or hair done, and it's absolutely fine. But it's still, you are here attending the seminar and learning about a few simple tricks. This can be done on regular schedule, and I'm going to give you a few ideas how to get it done. But before I give you these few ideas, I'd like you to rate the ideas which I presented to you today. So how do you like these few simple ideas of using the background, using immediate reactions, using the chat button more, enable students to write on your board? How do you feel about these ideas? You like them? You hate them? Nothing new? Could you rate these ideas, please? To do that, take your phone, scan the QR code presented to you, and choose a reaction. If for some reason you cannot scan the QR code, it doesn't work or something, just click the chat and rate today's ideas from 1 to 5. 5 being great ideas, 4 being not so great, 1 being I didn't learn anything. Yes, those who can scan already using the chat. The voting is anonymous, don't worry. It's anonymous, so I'm not gonna be too stressed. Oh, thank you. Whoever iPhone is, they given me a 6 out of 5, which is super cool. Thank you, Laura. And again, as you can see, there are always more than one option to make it available for the students to participate. Even at the moment, I'm asking you to share what you think of the ideas, and you have the freedom of doing it into 2 different modes. You can do it by scanning the code or by writing in the chat. Oh my God, this is unanimous. Thank you so much. And even though I was the only one speaking, I am absolutely sure that my session wasn't just a waste of time for you. And as promised, I'd like to share a few more ideas how you can make this Saturdays or Sunday not a waste of your personal time. Today in the online world, there are so many professional opportunities for teachers which are absolutely free, like today's opportunity. It is absolutely free, generously organized by Study.in for you. Study.in is the official representative of Cambridge University Press here in Kazakhstan. And you could always participate in official Cambridge assessment online events and get extra certificates for your portfolio. To do that, you just need to subscribe to a regular letter from Cambridge Assessment. Just if you give me a second, I'll share a link with you on how can this be done. There you go. In the chat, I'm sharing additional link. Oops, I'm so sorry. Oops, to everyone. This is the link to regular webinar series organized by Cambridge University Press, which is yet another wonderful CPD opportunity for you guys. Moreover, Study.in is a representative, again, the sole and one unique representative of National Geographic Learning here in Kazakhstan. So if you subscribe to National Geographic Learning, you would also learn that they organize regular webinars for teachers, and many of these webinars will again allow you to boost your online or not online teaching skills with very simple ideas. A beautiful perk is that again this opportunity is absolutely free and presented to you both by Study.in and National Geographic Learning. Finally, today's session was brought to us by Study.in. Let's thank them for bringing us all together this morning. And you can follow the events provided by Study.in by subscribing to our official Instagram accounts. We have two official Instagram accounts. One is Study.in for teachers, for teacher development, and one is our book publishing department, Kokzhe Gorizont. By the way, if you're from Almaty, guys, who is in Almaty, raise your hands. There is a book, what do you call it? Book exhibition in Almaty today from May 28th to May 30th. And I know it's difficult to remember this by just listening to these dates. A quick way to remember everything is subscribe to our Instagram accounts, and you will get notifications about the events happening in ELT world, Kazakhstani ELT world. Study.in is promoting teacher education, English teacher education, Kazakh and German, Spanish, language teacher education in Kazakhstan. They're on the top of their game, and they're participating in multiple language teaching events. So what's coming up, and if you'd like to meet Study.in representatives, next time you can meet us is next week in Petropavlovsk. There will be a big Kazakhstani KAST conference, Kazakhstani Teachers of English Association conference, in which Gulnar Ginayatовна, Gulnar Bigjanova will be a plenary speaker. So if you'd like to hear her, join us in Petropavlovsk. I will be also there presenting a workshop on what is CPD, Continuous Professional Development for Teachers, and how you can boost up your qualifications and make yourself more employable, more desirable, and so on. I understand that not everyone can just stop doing what you're doing and join us in Petropavlovsk next week. But if you'd like to still get the ideas of what is CPD and how can you boost up your skills over the summer, we are also offering a free webinar for you in the middle of June. The date is a little bit negotiable. If there are any changes, you will learn about these changes by following us on social media. In the chat now, you can find a link. If you follow this link and leave your contact information, we will happily issue a certificate of participation into today's event. So please do not ignore that and confirm your participation. I will share a link in a few seconds as well. So before we say goodbye to one another and part, please put our free webinars on your schedule, subscribe to our social media, and follow the final link. Or if you can't follow the final link, scan this QR code, which you can see on the screens right now. Scan the QR code and it will take you to our teacher feedback form. Let me demonstrate to you the form just to ensure that everybody gets the certificates for today. We very much value your time. We understand that you're spending your personal, maybe even your family time and devoting it to us, to this workshop today. So please follow the final link to leave your full name, your email information, and your reaction to today's event in this form. Because once you leave us this information, we will issue you your certificate of participation. Again, before we part, I'm going to copy paste the link one more time. Now copy paste the link one more time. So if you missed the final message, I'm sending the message to you again. And while you subscribing and everything, my final question to you. You've already rated this session really high. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But if you could be more specific, that is even more valuable. Please, using the QR code or using your our chat, our Zoom chat, please tell me, what are your takeaways from today's workshop? What are your takeaways? So what are you taking away from today? Are you taking away an idea of virtual background? Are you taking away an idea of immediate reactions? What are you taking away from today's session? Oh, somebody's doing immediate reactions, okay. Maybe some lead-in ideas. Search the object ideas. Oh, one, background, learned. Somebody said about the method, that there is, even if you learned one simple game that you could use, this is amazing. And again, it's an opportunity for me to see that you are engaged and you are participating in today's event. Fully participate. Please remember to fill in our feedback form. All right, beautiful. Some people have chosen to write in the chat. Somebody even says that I gave you ideas of how to motivate people. That wasn't my goal, but if that somehow helps you to motivate your learners, that's amazing. That's amazing. So again, if you haven't completed the feedback form, please reach out to us and we'll share the link to feedback form completion. And to finalize, would you like to take a photo, a group photo of today's event? Because if you do, this can be easily done.
And if you want to thank our lecturer today, it can be easily done, dear participants.
All right, so the group picture time. Anybody who is willing to be in the picture, Please turn on your cameras. Moreover, you can give us your reactions. Beautiful. So many of you. That is so exciting. See, at the beginning, not so many of you were willing to share. Beautiful. So, picture time. Give your reaction if possible. I'll be sharing the picture later. Reach out to me. Hey! There you go. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Gulnar, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Anna. I guess that today's seminar was really very, very interesting and inspiring for the teachers. And I hope to see all of you at all of our next seminars, to see you in Castea if possible, and to follow us. And those who are in Almaty, welcome to our office and participate in our offline seminars. Those who are all over the Kazakhstan, please join us from the beginning of the new academic year on the online seminars, and let's be the best teachers in Kazakhstan. Thank you, everybody.